Hey Andy, how you going? Thanks for helping me out. I just got a couple of questions. I'm just making some rear arms for my Fox, and I'm trying to give it some toe in and some anti-squat, which I did do, but I don't know if I've got it right. And if you know that, the Tamiya gearboxes, they got fixed mounting points, so you can't change them. So my idea was to actually make some arms that have toe in, build it into the arms, and also 1.5 degree of anti-squat. So my question is, so what I've done is, when I've made the hole, I've just used Tinkercad, which is really basic, but I'm not very good at designing stuff, so I'm just using a very easy program. So what I did with when I made the 3mm hole that goes through here, my question is, the 1.5 degrees, I pivoted from this point. You see the arrow, that's towards the front of the car. So I put 1.5 degrees of anti-squat. So I put the pin up 1.5 degrees. That's exaggerated, but that's basically what I did. The hole, so it pivots here and it's up 1.5 degrees. But my question is, if I had the pivot point in the middle of the arm and pivot it 1.5 degrees like that, would it still do the same thing? So basically, the first way, I've got this hole in the middle of the arm, and this hole, it's a bit hard to see, but it's above center. So that gives it that sort of angle when it's in the car. It gives it the 1.5 degree. But what I don't like is that hole is near the top, and it's going to have less meat in there and more likely to break there. So I was thinking, if I had the pivot point in the middle and put 1.5 degrees on it, so one end goes up, one end goes down, would that do the same thing as having this point fixed and putting 1.5 degrees that way? I sat down with my kids who are in high school and explained it to them, and they couldn't work it out themselves either. So the question is, if I have it fixed here, or this hole in the middle and this hole 1.5 degrees down, so this is the pivot point, is that, 1.5 degrees up, is that the same if I had the center pivot point and pivot it in there 1.5 degrees? So does that still give it 1.5 degrees, or should I have to do it 0.75, so it goes 0.75 down and 0.75 up, because the pivot point's in the middle, and that's how you get your 1.5 degrees. Because in Tinkercad you have a protractor and you just type in how many degree of angles. So I can either use a pivot point for the middle or the end here. But I'd rather do it in the middle, because then you have the same amount. The hole is still up one end and down the other, but it's not up as high, and you've got more meat up the top here. I hope that makes sense. Cool. If you have a bit of a think about it and let me know, that'd be great.